What up, it's your boy, the Truth 31. And as we all know, it's been 86 years since we've gotten a Flash movie. But now it seems we're going to get one. And before this, Misha Shetty stepped in. Grant Morrison and Ezra Miller worked on the Flash script, which we were very curious about. We were wondering if it was ever going to go forward. Obviously, it didn't, because Warner Brothers kiboshed that shit. It was like, no. We're doing Flashpoint. And Grant Morrison was like, all right, cool, fuck you, I'm out. But now Grant Morrison is speaking on what he did with his Flash script, and we have a few little cliff notes from his little interview. And Grant Morrison went on to say, yeah, I mean, Ezra Miller and I wrote that last year, but it kind of, what it's like. I was just one of those things I thought we had a really good version of The Flash, and we wrote it as fast as The Flash because it was so demanding, and it was pretty good. And I think after a few drafts, it would have been great. Would have. Interesting. But the way some studios work, these things just come and go. I think about 15 people have already written the versions of The Flash. 15 people, goddamn. Bruh, it shouldn't be that hard. Not going there. But it does seem to be going ahead now. But not with the version that we did. I had fun. Ezra came over to the house, and we just had a real blast and created the story. And maybe one day the script will leak out into the world. Yeah, hopefully one day that will come true, because I will actually want to see that script. I'm actually interested in what they did with it. While it was originally reported that Miller wanted a darker version of the story, Morrison said that wasn't really the case. No, it wasn't darker, really. I mean, elements of darkness were there, and the material that they wanted to use was the Flashpoint stuff. So Ezra and I were actually trying to do something that was a bit more, like I say, it's kind of like a great science fiction story. And if you don't know the comics, it would have made sense. But I have to say, I mean, I don't want to talk about that because somebody else has done their own work on it, and I'm sure it will be great. And maybe, as I say, this will leak out one day and people can judge. Word, especially if this movie that's coming up in 2022 is shit, then we're really gonna judge. Like, okay, time to dust off that Grant Morrison script. Like, Grant Morrison, hey, come back here. You were working on the Flash script, right? It was really good. Why don't you come back and work on it on the sequel? We'll likely learn about this current version of The Flash in the upcoming virtual convention at DC Fandom later this month, but for which both Mr. Shetty and Miller are scheduled to appear. But we're forever be curious about this Back to the Future-esque take that Miller and Morrison dreamed up. That would have been really cool. Like, of course, everyone's like, whenever you're using a time travel as a concept in a movie, you always refer back to like Back to the Future. For some reason, like Back to the Future is like the holy grail of science, of time travel stories. Like, okay, all right, what research can we do about time travel? I got it. Back to the Future. Watch it. Pop it in. It's just like, what? But yeah, I would have been really curious to see what Ezra Miller would have done and Grant Morrison would have done with The Flash. I think it would have been pretty cool. And of course, it wasn't going to be as dark, because everybody was reporting like, oh, it's going to be darker version. And of course, again, like, people who report on this is like, they don't know, they don't fucking know anything. People say, oh, it's going to be a darker version. It's going to be darker. And Grant Morrison is like, no, it wasn't going to be darker. It was going to have darker elements, but it wasn't going to be a dark movie. So Grant Morrison just debunked that immediately. You gotta love these bloggers who think they have their sources, who think they know everything, but of course, they just get proven wrong time and time again. But yeah, Back to the Future storyline would have been interesting, would have been cool. Of course, now I'm a little bit happier now that they're gonna use the Flashpoint elements. Of course, is that gonna be taken directly from the source material? Like every comic book movie, they're gonna use elements. They're gonna cherry pick this and that, and of course, they want to like use hopefully Jeffrey Dean Morgan, hopefully Michael Keaton, and hopefully Ben Affleck at the end. Just again use it like wisely in this time, because I don't know what they were gonna do with Ezra Miller's and Grant Morrison's take on it. They were going to use Back to the Future, but they were going to use the Flashpoint elements at all. And it's funny that the Warner Brothers like demanded that they actually put Flashpoint elements in it. Like, why are Warner Brothers like so hell bent on using the Flashpoint storyline? Maybe to course correct things if certain things don't work out, certain things don't pan out. Maybe not. I guess we just have to wait and see. But I find it very curious to see that Warner Brothers were adamant using Flashpoint elements. But but again, this just like Justice League Mortal, this was a story a movie that we'll never get to see. Hopefully, one day Grant Morrison is right, and that we get to see his script. It gets leaked out, and by leaked I mean Grant Morrison putting it out in the internet. It's like, oh, it leaked. Look what happened. My version was so much better than what you got in 2022. Hopefully, that's not the case. Hopefully, we get a great Flash movie in 2022. Hopefully it comes out and everything seems to be moving forward. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think it's going to be great. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Grant Morrison Ezra Miller story. Hit like, subscribe, all that good stuff for more DCEU content. Me dropping those truth bombs. And like always, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Going in deep. Coming at you. I don't know what that was. It's too early for that. Late night.